Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. The crowd of Jerusalem exclaimed joyfully as they welcomed Jesus. We have made that enthusiasm our own. By waving our olive and palm branches, we have expressed our praise and our joy, our desire to receive Jesus who comes to us. Just as he entered Jerusalem, so he desires to enter our cities and our lives. As he did in the Gospel, riding on a donkey, so too he comes to us in humility. He comes in the name of the Lord. Through the power of his divine love, he forgives our sins and reconciles us to the Father and with ourselves. Jesus is pleased with the crowds showing their affection for him. When the Pharisees asked him to silence the children and the others who were acclaiming him, he responds, "I tell you, if these were silent, the very stones would cry out." Nothing could dampen their enthusiasm for Jesus' entry. May nothing prevent us from finding in him the source of our joy, true joy, which abides and brings peace. For it is Jesus alone who saves us from the snares of sin, death, fear, and sadness. Today's liturgy teaches us that the Lord has not saved us by his triumphal entry or by means of powerful miracles. The Apostle Paul, in the second reading, epitomizes in two verbs the path of redemption. Jesus emptied and humbled himself. These two verbs show the boundlessness of God's love for us. Jesus emptied himself. He did not cling to the glory that was his as the Son of God, but became the Son of Man in order to be in solidarity with us sinners in all things, yet he was without sin. Even more, he lived among us in the condition of a servant, not of a king or a prince, but of a servant. Therefore, he humbled himself, and the abyss of his humiliation, as Holy Week shows us, seems to be bottomless. The first sign of this love without end is the washing of the feet. The Lord and Master stoops to his disciples' feet as only servants would have done. He shows us by example that we need to allow his love to reach us, a love which bends down to us. We cannot do any less. We cannot love without letting ourselves be loved by him first, without experiencing his surprising tenderness, and without accepting that true love consists in concrete service. Even as every form of justice is denied to him, Jesus also experiences in his own flesh indifference, since no one wishes to take responsibility for his fate. And I think of the many people, so many outcasts, so many asylum seekers, so many refugees, all of those for whose fate no one wishes to take responsibility. The crowd who just a little earlier had acclaimed him now changes their praise into a cry of accusation, even to the point of preferring that a murderer be released in his place. And so the hour of death on the cross arrives, that most painful form of shame reserved for traitors, slaves, and the worst kind of criminals. To be totally in solidarity with us, he also experiences on the cross the mysterious abandonment of the Father. In his abandonment, however, he prays and entrusts himself. Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. He takes upon himself all our pain that he may redeem it, bringing light to darkness, life to death, love to hatred. We are called to choose his way, the way of service, of giving, of forgetfulness of ourselves. Let us walk this path, pausing in these days to gaze upon the crucifix. It is the royal seat of God. I invite you during this week to gaze often upon his royal seat of God, to learn about the humble love which saves and gives life, so that we may give up all selfishness and the seeking of power and fame. By humbling himself, Jesus invites us to walk on his path.